Here's the deal, guys. I have a video series planned that requires a very large wash to get through it. Let's make a big ass wash, I guess. How's it going, chasers? I hope you're having a kick-ass week. I'm Jesse, this is Still It, and I have decided that I need to go back and recreate some of the more introductory 101 videos that'll teach new distillers how to run stills that are set up in different configurations and why you would do so. To do that, I need to create this big ass wash, 190 liters, 50 gallons, to get me through the series. But this presents a interesting opportunity. I'm gonna have a pretty decent amount of product at the end, all made from the same wash. It'll be distilled in different ways, but I can blend it back together, or not. And that may just let us do some interesting testing later on. So, let me make the wash, and if you're interested in the 101 videos or the testing stuff, we'll have a talk about that at the end. Let's get stuck into making this wash. We're gonna start out with a all grain component and then add some sugar into it later on. It's essentially a safety net recipe. That is a series that I've been making where we do some all grain mashing to prove to you that it's really not that scary and it's pretty easy, but you have the safety net of the sugar, so even if you totally screw this up, you're gonna get the benefit of the flavor from the grain, and this safety net, that's why we call it safety net, of the sugar, it'll totally ferment. I'm gonna be making a very large wash today, probably pushing about 200 liters, so I'm gonna be doing a double mash. Let me give you the total grist, or the total recipe for grain. So that is 9 kilos of distiller's malt, 4 kilos of corn, 1.5 kilos of Shepherd's Delight, 1 kilo of Munich, half a kilo of chocolate, 1.5 kilos of, 2 kilos of oats, and 2 kilos of flaked barley. There is kind of a recipe in the madness for all of these random things in there. That'll become evident a little bit later with some of the things I end up doing for this mash. But we have right around 50 liters of strike water sitting here at 65 degrees Celsius. I'm just gonna start mashing in. So slowly tipping in grain. I know maybe this doesn't look slow, but what I mean by that is adding a small amount in, giving it a stir, and then, you know, making sure you don't have any dough balls, that you're actually mixing it in, and then tipping in another, you know, bucket, serving size, bowl, whatever it happens to be, rather than just upending this whole damn thing straight into there. I should mention too that I'm lucky enough to have the sweet Clawhammer Supply mash tun, which is taking care of the temperature for me. So I just set it at 65 degrees Celsius. I don't have to worry about the fact that the grain, you know, the thermal mass of the grain is going to cool the liquid down, because this system is going to basically combat that with the PID and hold it at a constant temperature, or, you know, it won't actually hold it at a constant temperature, but it'll get it back there relatively quickly. If you don't have a setup like this, all hope is not lost. Turns out people were brewing kick-ass beer before they had PIDs. What you do is you heat the water up to strike temperature, which is basically you take into account the thermal mass and the temperature of the grain, and you make the water too hot. So maybe you know, rough numbers might be something like, you know, 50 liters of water, and you'd heat it up to 68, 69 degrees Celsius, dump the grain in, and the thermal mass of the grain will drop it down to 65 degrees Celsius, and then you just cover the pot up and insulate the bejesus out of it and leave it alone. That sounds kind of complicated. It's really not that bad. We have a calculator, a strike water calculator on chasethecraft.com. And that is the last of our grain. By the way, team, I didn't actually measure out the grain. I just eyeballed roughly half of it, and I figured it'll kind of not really matter. But this is looking like a thick but not silly thick mash. You know, and actually, in fact, for distilling, it's probably on the thin side, thick for beer, which is exactly where I was hoping it would be. Time to get the lid on. We'll let this sit for 1 hour, and we'll come back and check it. I got caught up in kids' after-school sports. This has actually been mashing for 2 hours now, so definitely time to drain it. All of the wort has been transferred out of here and into the fermenter. Time to do a sparge to rescue as much of this delicious sugar that our yeast wants out of here. And I'm just going to do this down and dirty style and dump. I've got about 40 litres of water heated up, actually probably more like 35. Dump it straight in. Sparge is done, let's drain this too. So I've dumped the grain from the last batch, topped up again with some preheated water to keep the time down in terms of getting this up to strike temperature. Once again, we have 50 litres in the pot. Once again, it is at, well, it's actually at 64.4 degrees right now. I think that's fine. The only thing I'm missing is a mash paddle. Hold on. There we go. Oh, I've just realised I don't have the basket in there. All right, now we're in business. So this is your typical case of rinse and repeat. I need to say a huge thank you to the Patreons. Thank you, Patreons, for being the people that support us day in, month out. We totally freaking appreciate it. Yeah, you guys keep the lights on. You keep me motivated. You keep me doing what I do when other things don't go so well. So thanks. All of the all grain component of this wash is now in the fermenter and ready to roll. We have 130 litres at 1055. So I want this to come out anywhere between 9 and like 11% ABV, and I'll be happy. So we have 55 points now. If we multiply that by 130, which is the volume we have now, divided by 190, which is the volume I'm aiming for, we're going to end up with probably about 1.037 in terms of gravity if we just dilute this to full volume. 1075 in terms of gravity is right around 10% ABV if it ferments out dry, which it should get pretty close. So 75 minus 37 means that we are looking for another 38 points, 1038 worth of gravity over 190 litres. So if now I jump over into the Chase the Craft Sugar Wash calculator and put 1090 in terms of volume and 1038 in as the gravity we need 18.7 kilos of sugar. I'm doing this calculation now because I want to be able to mix it when it's not totally full. So I can give it a real good blitzing with the paint mixer. Let's say 15 kilos of sugar in there now. We'll hedge our bets a little, and if we need to add some more at the end, we will. This is now sitting at 23 degrees Celsius, so I want pitching temperature to be more like 28 to 30 degrees Celsius. Let's get some hot water in here to dilute it down, get the volume up to where we need it, and warm it up a little bit. I tested the gravity as I was getting close, and we did need that extra, 3 kilos of sugar. I decided, however, to go with 4 kilos of molasses instead. And as the series of videos that I make from this wash unfolds, I hope that'll make more sense. But now it is time to pitch our yeast, and I'm going to be using AM1. That can go straight in on top. Oh, and by the way, I did give this a really good beating with the paint mixer to oxygenate it. Now it's time to just let this ferment and hope it doesn't puke out the top. Yeast has been pitched. All I need to do now is let this ferment out. If you're still here, I'm guessing you're interested in these 101 videos or the testing side of things. So the plan is to make a dedicated video on why you would run a pot still, how you set a pot still up, a few things to check on, and then how to run the thing. And to create the same video with a full reflux still, with a plated still, perhaps even like get into something like one and done reflux to imitate pot distillation. If you're interested in any of those videos, let me know in the comments. I do read them and I appreciate it. The point in this channel is to create what you guys want and what you need. So let me know. But like I said at the beginning, we're also going to end up with a pretty decent amount of product that's all made from the same wash. That's got me thinking. The first thing I want to do is, for ages, I have wanted to do some testing on wood toast levels and char levels. So the plan is to make a 4x4, how does this work? There we go. A 4x4 matrix of no char, low char, medium char, high char, combined with no toast, low, medium, high toast in terms of temperature. Age it out for a little while and see what happens. But perhaps there's other testing that we could do with these products as well. One of the things that jumps to mind is comparing the same wash distilled on a pot still versus one and done double plate distillation versus stripping run plus 2 plates distillation. You get the idea. So I hope you kind of understand what I'm aiming for here. If you have suggestions on what I could do with this wash, what I could test, what kinds of questions distillers have that, I mean, I'm not going to be able to answer them with one go at it, right? But I might be able to start forming some hypotheses that we can do more testing on later, or you guys can carry on and do more testing as well. So let me know what you think. I'll catch you next time, guys. Keep chasing the craft. See ya.